I'm Joe Mooney, and I started Gene's Jazz Series back in December of 2001. We actually had our first concert. Gene was my wife that we were childhood sweethearts. We met at Park Inn restaurant in Racine, and when we were both working, I was a senior in high school, she was a junior. We dated, got married. We're quite involved with the Theatre Guild. Gene had gone to Japan with the Theatre Guild at one point, and I had done quite a bit of acting and backstage work at the Theatre Guild. We were both very involved in Harbor Fest as well. I was the president and one of the co-chairs of the event, and Gene helped with the kids area, and we had done that for many, many years. We had gone out, a lot of times we had gone out together with a group of Harbor Fest people to listen to different bands to bring them to Harbor Fest. And a lot of times we would make the comment, can you imagine how cool this band would sound at the Theatre Guild with the acoustics of the Theatre Guild? And we talked about that a lot. So in 2001, Gene passed from ovarian cancer. Maybe we could start a jazz series in Gene's honor, keep her name going, and see if we could get a continuous revenue stream for the Theatre Guild. Well, that was 20 years ago, and we're still doing okay. So I knew that logistically we had it. I just didn't know how jazz was going to take to, how the fans would take to jazz. But we all decided that if we could get separate fans from Theatre Guild fans, get new butts in the seat, as they would say. And so we played, the first couple of years we played to three-quarter house, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. It was just, we had a lot of things rolling and going our way. So we started building up our audiences, and then suddenly we're about 5 years in and discovering now we're playing the full houses. So we had a great reputation with artists. Almost every single show, somebody from the band would come up and say, hey, I have my own band that would really love to play here sometimes. And I made a lot of new friends from concert goers that also constantly would give me information on different bands and things like that. The people coming here know, number one, that they're going to get great music. Number two, that they're going to get diverse music, because we can never be pigeonholed into anywhere. I actually sat down and made a list of all the different types of music that we've had, different types of jazz, and I was kind of astounded looking back on it. I mean, who knew that there was French jazz? But there is, and we had it. And we had a jazz harpist, and we've had jazz cellist, and we've had standard jazz, swing jazz. But I'll tell you, of everything, Racine loves their swing bands. One year we even brought up a husband and wife from Kenosha to come up and do some swing dancing. And I had to go down on the stage and dance, but that's okay, because I had this, one of the reasons, people tell me that one of the only reasons I do the jazz series is because I personally own a lime green zoot suit, and I love to wear it, and it's pretty cool, and I get a lot of accolades for it. But so we're careful of that. We try to mix them in, and we do get a lot of local artists. We probably have hit just about everybody that is from Racine that plays jazz. We've had them at one time or another. I tell them at the end of every show that to stretch your boundaries of jazz and allow different things to be what you enjoy and identify it that way. But there are so many different forms of it that people who had never heard gypsy jazz, at the end of the show they'll come and say, man, that was so cool the way they used, I know, that's why we're trying to show it to you. We're just trying to share, that's all we do. And it's always been a passion of jazz musicians to share their art. And we at Gene's Jazz Series truly love to share our art with the people of Racine. We've had sets that Chris has built that are up there with doors, and the artists love to walk through the door like they're coming through, or they'll have the band, if it's a solo singer, they'll have the band set up and playing in the middle of the stage and begin the thing, and all of a sudden the headliner will walk through the door. But I think really and truly probably the coolest that we had a family band from Milwaukee, mother and father and two sons and a daughter, I believe. And they came in, and the set was all set up, and there were a couch and a chair in there. And they sang their first song from the couch and the chair. And I just thought it, and the audience just absolutely loved it, because it just brings the human side of it in. They understand, the artists understand that we're we're working at the mercy of the Theatre Guild. And it's not that we're fighting for different dates, we're intermeshing all of our dates, and it works perfectly. And I absolutely love it that there's a set on the stage, because it shows the people that are only here for jazz, that have only been to the Theatre Guild for jazz, it shows what else we can do. We're raising money so that they can do that, so that we can be on their stage while they're doing that. That's how it works. Gene's brother, Jim and Renee Prochniak, are the house managers and have been for every one of our shows. Gene's sister, Mary, and her family now, all of her daughters and sons have come through and been part of it, and their friends. I mean, it's all families. I've had my brothers-in-law all working up here at different times. My youngest daughter, at the time when we first started this, was going to culinary school to be a pastry chef. And we had gone all over looking for places. She ended up in Chicago and loved it. And when we started the jazz series, it was her idea to make chocolates or some type of desserts and give them out for free at the intermission. And my daughter would spend all of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday baking all of these desserts, and just fill out like 4 or 5 tables full of desserts for people just to graze. Well, then my daughter finally aged out of that and ended up getting married and moving to Madison. So to my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law's wife, my sister-in-law, Renee Prochniak, who is the house manager, and Mary Buchholz, who is Gene's sister, picked up the slack, and now they make all of the desserts. I have a lot of memorable concerts, obviously. The first one ever that we did, it was with Mrs. Fun, who is Kim Zick and Connie Grauer out of Milwaukee. And then we had Janet Planet play after it. And then because they're all good friends, they ended up playing together for a whole bunch of them. I still have a CD of that, and I still listen to that, because Janet's encore was Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and I guarantee you that there was not a dry eye in the house, including anybody associated with that. And it was at that point that one of the guys from our side said, "We're really doing this right," and we knew it. I know so many people that I have met through my affiliation with the Racine Theatre Guild. So many wonderful people that I've met. And if our jazz series keeps them in a place where they can continue to do their volunteering, because just like us, we're all volunteers and they are all volunteers, and they love volunteering. You know what? It just all works out, and I'm really happy about it. And if we can continue on and we can do our little bit to help, because I do love acting at the Theatre Guild, and so if I can keep the roof, help, with our little piece to keep the roof, that makes me feel good too. As they always say, the best concert is the next concert, so we'll see what the next one brings us.